Hey, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the RCLS road trip staff training. This program is being recorded, and afterwards it will be posted on the RCLS road trip LibGuide that you are going to learn a little bit more about in just a few moments. Throughout the presentation, please feel free to put questions in the chat. We are going to hold off on answering them until the end, but any questions you have, stick them in the chat. I would like to introduce our road trip committee. We have Jen Park, who is the community, no longer the community engagement. She's now the government relations specialist at RCLS. We have Dave Costco, who's the marketing manager at RCLS. Amanda Perviano, who is the director at the Monroe Free Library, and myself, I'm Joanna Goldfarb, and I'm the Youth Services and Sustainability Innovation Consultant at RCLS. I do also want to give a thank you to the Nassau and Upper Hudson Library Systems for sharing their materials. They have done very similar programs in the past, and they were kind enough to send us everything that they had, so we didn't have to start from scratch. Also a note on the artwork that you're going to see throughout the presentation. The artwork was not finalized when the presentation was put together. So when you receive all of the materials in your boxes, again, that we're going to talk about in a little bit, it might look a little bit different. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can I get a thumbs up if everyone can see the screen? Got a thumbs up, awesome. Okay, so to start us off, why are we doing this now? Why are we doing the road trip program now? So libraries are now fully open after the pandemic, and last year's summer statistics were getting very close to pre-pandemic numbers, but we're not quite there yet. So we're hoping that this program will be a little boost to get people back into libraries. Also, since the summer reading theme is all together now, we thought it was a perfect time to do a program all together as a system. And again, we'd like to see an increase in summer reading participation, but we would also ideally like that engagement to continue and to grow throughout the year as well. So what exactly is this program? Ideally, patrons will start at any library within our system, and then hopefully they will go to as many libraries as possible over the course of the summer, specifically June 26th through September 8th, and they will collect prizes along the way. We are going to look at all the prizes later, but just a quick spoiler, the final prize is a free t-shirt because people will go above and beyond for a t-shirt. So before we really get into the specifics of the program, we wanted everyone to see what the map will look like to help you visualize the rest of the program as we go through the presentation. A few other things to keep in mind as we move forward. We might reference a listserv. So this program has a temporary listserv that is specific to this program that's been created with at least one person per library or per branch on it to help us communicate with everyone without really flooding everyone's inbox. So that's the listserv we might refer to, and we might also refer to the LibGuide. So I'm going to put the link to the LibGuide in the chat. We are going to take a closer look at this towards the end of today's training, but when we do reference a LibGuide, this is what we are referring to. And with that, I am going to pass this off to Amanda.
Okay, so a few reasons why your library might benefit from this program. First is it will strengthen your connection with your community by offering a fun, free activity. Hopefully, you'll see an increase of usage of your library and your services. This is one way to get them in the door. It'll also be an opportunity to share what is unique about your library with your patrons. It's also another potential to increase your community's awareness of your resources. So if you have a family that maybe doesn't frequent your library as often as you'd like, something like this might be something different and exciting for them, and it might raise their flags, and they might come in and learn more about your library and what you have to offer and what RCLS as a system has to offer. Next slide, Joanna. Thank you. So how does a patron benefit? It's a fun summer challenge for families and adults to do. Of course, there's prizes. It allows them to explore their neighborhood. I've lived up here for 7 years now, and I still haven't explored half of what is available to me. So I will be doing this with my 2 kids. And what I think what's exciting about this is that it goes beyond summer reading programs. So if families are still looking for something to do with their kids, this goes beyond that typical second week of August. It will also increase your patrons' awareness of what you have to offer, and hopefully it will strengthen your patrons' understanding and love for libraries. So how do you prepare for the program? Here are a few steps. First, if you haven't already, please confirm that you're participating. I think at this point, the deadline has passed, so everyone is opted in. Review the package checklist that you're going to receive, which we'll talk about in a minute. Review the social media files, which we'll talk about later. Make sure you display the maps prior to the launch, get people excited about it. Start promoting RCLS Road Trip on your website, on your social platforms prior to the launch, and then also make sure to periodically promote it on your website and your social platforms, considering it's pretty lengthy time period. We don't want people to forget about it. So each library is going to receive a package, and it's going to include a box of instructions, posters, promoting the event, a supply of maps, a supply of prizes. Everyone is going to get, obviously, a lot of the beginner prizes, because it's typical that these things taper off towards the end. So you might not get a lot of prize 15, but you'll get prizes 1 and 5, a healthy number for each map. So anytime somebody comes to your library, you're going to place a sticker onto your location to indicate that they visited that library. You're also going to get a statistics sheet, which Joanna will talk about a little later. Also available on the LibGuide, you will have access to digital materials, map for additional copies in case you need some, statistics sheets, social media graphics, which we put together, canned messages to make it easier for you to promote. We know you guys will be busy with your summer reading and your programming. Also a patron-facing LibGuide link so that you can share it on your social and your website. And then basically a complete how-to guide for you guys to review. Just one other note about the materials, the physical materials that you will receive. It's just a starter kit. So if there is an instance where you run out of stickers or prizes, you can reach back out to Joanna, and she will then mail you an additional materials. Next slide. So the program launch, right? What do you have to think about when you're ready to launch the program? You want to consider the following. So what is the unique fact that you're going to share about your library? So typically when people will come in, you'll give them the map, but they'll also, maybe they will, maybe they won't, ask you what's unique about your library. You want to think about that fact. You also want to think about where will you have these maps available for your patrons? What makes the most sense? In my case at Monroe, we're going to have it right at the circulation desk, because it's the first person that they see when they walk through the door. You want to think about who will be responsible for keeping the statistics. My recommendation is that you pick one person to make that their job. And then also you want to ensure that your staff members really understand the program and feel confident explaining it, because as Joanna has said to me, the other library systems that have done this, people come into them and say, I'm looking for the map, I'm looking for the prizes or the stickers. So it's really important that your staff understand this, this program, so that someone who comes in with a half understanding, they'll be able to know exactly what they're talking about and assist them. So let's say you're ready to launch, you've done all the things. Now you're ready to receive patrons who express interest. What's the next step? So first, when someone comes in, you have to decide, ask them if they want to participate as an individual or a team. If it's a family of whatever, if they each want their own map, go ahead and give them their own map. You want to confirm that they have a library card. This is an opportunity, maybe someone heard from it somewhere else. If you shared it maybe on your town page or someone else shared it, it's an opportunity to increase library card signups. So confirm they have a library card. Explain how the road trip works, just give them a little quick tour of how exactly it works and what they need to do. Give each person or family a map. Place a sticker on the map to cover your library. Very simple. If it's their first stop, they'll get the first prize, which is going to be a sticker, a special customizable RCLS roadmap sticker. But if it's not their first stop, you want to count how many stickers they have on their map to see if they qualify for any of the other prizes, which Joanna will talk about in a minute. Joanna?
Sorry, my unmute was not cooperating. Okay, so now for the prizes. So Amanda covered basically how they're going to work. So when patrons go to the first library, they're going to pick up their sticker. And for every certain number of libraries patrons visit, they will receive another prize. So for the first library, they'll receive their first prize. The 5th library, 15th library, 25th, 35th, and 47th. So RCLS is providing all of the prizes along with all of the necessary print materials to all of you. So you will not have to go out and buy prizes for this. So again, look out for those starter kits that will get you started in mid-June, and it will include the map, all the other materials that Amanda mentioned, as well as the prizes. If you, again, need more of anything at any time, reach out to me and we will send it to you through delivery. But what are the prizes is the question of the day. So we do have the sticker. The second prize is a lollipop, and actually the lollipops just came in today. So I have one with me right here. I don't know if everyone can see it, but I'm holding it up. We have a water bottle, reusable utensils, a fanny pack, and again, the custom t-shirt at the end. We did try to select all of these prizes with sustainability in mind. So of course, the lollipop is single use, can't use a lollipop again. But the other prizes, we did try to choose them carefully so that they are reusable, they are useful, so they won't immediately end up in the trash. And so that they're fun. Additionally, we did also use a local vendor to purchase everything. One last thing that I want to touch on before I pass this off to Dave to talk about marketing is that when the tagline is going to be, when in doubt, give the prize. We're going to talk about some different scenarios later that you might encounter, but when in doubt, give the prize. So Dave, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Thanks, Joanna, very much. I can confirm the lollipop is absolutely delicious. They've have officially hidden the boxes from me, so I can't have any more today, but I will search for them after work. The social media, as far as the staff LibGuide goes, what I like is that everything's in one spot, easily accessible to everyone. As far as messaging, there is canned social media messaging for you along with graphics. The graphics can be used on Twitter, they can be used on Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms. Don't feel like just because RCLS only uses Twitter and Facebook that you have to stick to those platforms. You can adjust, manipulate, revise, and change any of the messaging and the graphics if you need to make sure they fit within your social media platforms that you prefer to use. As far as materials that are available, there's a logo that's been created. There's a poster that you will receive that you can hang with any other signage inside your doors. That poster is also turned into a shareable graphic that you can use. There are cars to color, tic-tac-toe boards. There's a road trip press release that you can share, children's coloring sheets. There's also a glossy map. In addition to the standard maps that you'll receive a glossy map that you can hang up as well, which is really useful as far as when you're promoting the program and trying to create awareness, not just at the beginning, but throughout the summer. Eileen has graciously created a bookworm, recommended audiobooks for the road trip that are fantastic. The bottom line, as far as the materials go, feel free to use them as is or change the message how you see fit. The two hashtags that we're going to use for the road trip are RCLS road trip is the first one, and the second is summer of 47. In addition to those hashtags on the LibGuide, which is still under construction, we're changing some graphics and kind of adding things every day. You should see some cluster messaging, which is messaging you can just simply cut and paste into your social media platforms, email, your website, wherever you see fit, that will actually tell patrons which libraries are close to each other. So instead of just saying one day they want to go just to one library, maybe they realize that the library they want to go to is close to a few libraries, so they can go to maybe 2 or 3 or more in one day. As far as promoting the road trip, it's going to be through the usual vehicles, the usual suspects, your website, your social media platforms, whether you're using organic non-paid posts or you're possibly paying for some posts, advertising the program in your geographic area. Your newsletter, email blast, like we said, posters, flyers, other signage around the library. If you have any relationships with schools or any community partners, feel free to share graphics with them. Feel free to share materials with them as well. The main goal is to get folks to visit the library. That's the main goal. But we also want to encourage people to visit what is offered in the community around your library, because we're hoping that people are not only going to visit libraries close to their homes that they visited before, but go to libraries that they haven't visited at all and experience which each community has to offer. So it's important to continually promote the program throughout the summer. Make sure you're taking pictures of people in and around the library, obviously with their permission. Make sure people are taking pictures. Make sure they're posting, they're tagging, they're sharing. We want to make sure that we don't lose steam, but we continually promote and create awareness throughout the summer. As Joanna mentioned, any questions, any issues, any help that you may need, we have the distribution list set up. If it's anything marketing related, feel free to call me. You can email me directly. anything at all. I'm super excited about the program, and let's make it a great one. Thanks, guys.
Everyone. So, of course, I must bring up the way that this would be a great opportunity to collect with your local legislators. Now, I, as the government relations specialist, will be providing a packet of information to each of our assembly members and our senators. So there's 13 of them. Not all of them have an equal number of libraries. So there are some that have upwards of 15 libraries in their area. And while I don't necessarily expect them to complete the road trip, I do expect them to stop by and maybe participate. So if we know that that's going to happen ahead of time, I will notify the library so that we can make it into a photo op. Others may not want it to be a photo op. They may want to have it as time with their families, but all will receive the materials associated with the road trips. Having said that, it's also a great opportunity to collect with your local legislators, such as your town council, your school board, any elected official, to invite them to visit the libraries and really just partake and learn what's around, and honestly, to see where everyone's tax dollars are going. As we are becoming more and more aware of the increase in in the cost of living, as well as other avenues, tax dollars are going to be scrutinized as they have been, but even more so in the future. And we want to show everyone what the amazing programs, services, like space that the library is providing to those taxpayer dollars. So again, I will be sending the information to the assembly members and the senators. But I do encourage you to connect with your local legislators. Thank you. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me.
Thank you. So next, we are going to talk about measuring impact and collecting those statistics. Because is it a library program if we don't have statistics? So the statistics that we are asking everyone to collect include how many people started the program, how many people continued the program, and how many new library cards were created as a result of this program. And we are going to ask you to divide those categories into age groups, children, teen, and adults, to the best of your ability. You don't have to go around asking people, are you a child or a teen? Just place them, the participants, as best as you can. So our goal when deciding which statistics to collect was to keep it as simple as possible for staff, but also making sure that we collect meaningful statistics so that once this program is done, we can accurately share the impact of this program. So what are we going to actually do with this data? The exact form that it will take kind of depends on what the end result looks like, but we are most likely going to create some sort of infographic that you can use to show your community, show your local and state officials, and of course your board, what this program has done for your libraries and for our system. So this is what the statistics sheet actually looks like. So on the left-hand side of your screen, it's a simple paper form. You're just going to put tally marks as appropriate. If your library has a different method of collecting statistics and you would rather use that than this form, that's fine. Whatever, you're going to make this work for your own library's workflow. As long as the statistics are being collected, the manner in which they are collected is not super important. What is super important is that they are submitted. So we are asking everyone to submit the statistics that they collect on the 1st and the 15th of every month. If your library is closed those dates, just submit the next day that your library is open. You don't have to go on your day off to submit the statistics. The submission form is embedded on that LibGuide that I put a link in the chat earlier. So you can just go straight there, submit everything. If for some reason you go on and the form isn't working, directly below the form is a link to it, to that submission form. So you can just click on the link and submit that way. Also, if you run out of the statistics paper sheets and you like them, there's also a PDF of that form on the LibGuide, so you can just download and print as needed. And last but not least, we have some additional resources that live on the LibGuide. So more resources will be added. We're just kind of adding them as they are created. But currently it includes, as Dave mentioned before, a special edition of the Bookworm that focuses on audiobooks. We have printables like coloring pages, additional bookmarks. Most of the templates that are on this LibGuide are in Library Aware, and they are customizable. So if you log into Library Aware and search RCLS Road Trip, you can find most of the printables, and you can swap out your library's branding. If you want to swap out the books to highlight your own collections, absolutely feel free to. That's why they are templates. They are there for you. Additionally, there are some sample scenarios to help guide you through, I don't know, we'll say interesting patron interactions that you may come across. So things such as if folks are traveling in a group and everyone in the group wants to receive a prize because they have visited 5 libraries or 15 libraries or however many libraries, but there's only one map, what do you do? So it is not on staff to monitor and make sure that everyone has actually visited that many libraries. You can just give them the prize. So that's going to go back to when in doubt, give the prize. So there are a few of those scenarios on the LibGuide. And of course, as the summer goes on, if something interesting happens and you feel like other libraries would benefit from knowing, let me know. We are absolutely happy to add it. And you can also utilize that road trip listserv. There are also staff frequently asked questions on there, and we will likely add to it after the session. Most of the questions up there were a result of our first session. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we are ready for questions now. I see one in the chat already. The links to the audiobooks takes me to a login page. Yes, the audiobook lists that are provided by Overdrive, you will have to access them through Overdrive Marketplace. So whoever purchases ebooks for your library will be able to pull up those lists for you. Question, for libraries with branches such as Haverstraw, Western Sullivan, will each branch be counted towards the 47 needed to win? Good question. So the spirit of the program is for people to visit different libraries. However, if someone goes to different branches, that's fine. If they visit all 3 Western Sullivan branches and 2 other libraries, that's good enough for me. You can give them the 5 library prize, and hopefully they will learn something different at all of those branches. Are there any other questions? And I think at this point, you can, of course, put them in the chat, but you could also unmute yourself and ask out loud.
Hello. I don't know if we confirmed that we are participating at West Nyack Library. How would I know?
So at this point, anyone who has not opted out is opted in. So West Nyack, I did speak to someone at West Nyack. I'm sorry, I can't tell who's talking right now. And they let me know that you are interested, that you're good to go. That does bring up that there is only one library who is unable to participate because they're under construction. So it's New City. They are still included on the map, but it just says under construction free space. But we're going to go visit them in the fall when they're open. So yes, everyone's in with that one exception.
So we don't have to confirm then? We're all in?
You are in.
Okay.
A question, how many prizes does each library receive? Will we be able to request more? So the starter kits, we are going to create them kind of based on your library size. So a smaller library is not going to receive as many starter materials as a larger library. Everyone, again, is going to get a little bit of everything. But yes, if you need more of anything at any point, please let me know and we will send it to you through delivery. I do ask that you ask me for more materials before you run out. So maybe when you're towards the end, so we can get it to you and there's no pause in the giving of prizes. But yes, if you need more, absolutely ask and we will have plenty. Any more questions? Is there a limit to the size of a group? No, no limit. The more the merrier. Well, I guess the limit would be how many people can fit in a car. But no, if 10 people walk in and they're all doing the road trip together, sounds like fun. Amanda, Dave, any thoughts? Well, people are typing questions in the chat. No.
No, nothing from me. Amanda, anything from you?
No, I look forward to visiting your libraries because staff can participate. If you're interested in participating, this was a question that came up last time. Can staff participate? And the answer was yes. So I look forward to visiting your libraries and I hope you'll come down to Monroe.
Okay, so this is connected to the group size. So would each person in the group get the prize? Yes. Everyone in the group can get the prize. And again, when in doubt, give the prize. All right, well, unless someone wants to ask one more question, I think we can call it. And, you know,
I have one more question. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Yes, go for it.
So when you're keeping a tally, every person in the group counts as a person, even though if they want one prize or they want 6 prizes, it's still counting all the people that walk through the door.
Yes. Yes. I see Laura has her hand raised.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry if I missed this. I was in another meeting, so I apologize. Is any of this available in any other language?
No, unfortunately. We had intended to make promotional materials in Spanish, but we ran out of time. But if anyone wants the Word documents I can translate into Spanish, we would gladly accept that.
Only because in our the area we service, 55% is Latino population. Just asking.
Good question. No, unfortunately, we were unable to do that. There's another question. When is everyone starting to promote this? We are sending out the physical materials in mid-June, but I mean, everyone has the link to the LibGuide. So everyone already has access to those digital materials. If you wanted to create a Facebook post, Twitter, Instagram, go for it. If you want to promote it, right after this, I would be okay with that. How do we track library cards issued? So that is going to be, so if you, as Amanda said, when someone comes to start the road trip and you ask, do you have a library card? And they say no. If they go get a library card, that's a library card.
Okay, so it's just the
not
ones that
going
were
to be-
issued because they're doing the road trip, like, because not the
Yes.
statistic of number of cards we issued here this month, but that day when somebody's there visiting.
Correct,
Okay.
yes. Someone asked, are we good to post the materials on the LibGuide? If they are on the LibGuide, they're good. But again, we are continually adding more materials. So next week, there might be something else fun to post.
Yeah, I would say from a marketing standpoint, don't start to promote too early. I would probably recommend, and it's up to you what you guys want to do. I'm just thinking you probably want to start by at least the maybe second week in June to start doing stuff. I think that would probably be ideal. But again, if you want to start sooner, you're more than happy to do so.
I say, listen to Dave, he knows what he's doing when it comes to marketing. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us. Of course, if any other questions come up at any time, feel free to reach out to any and all of us. We're happy to help. If you have been added to the road trip listserv, we will utilize that to let everyone know when to expect those boxes of materials. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your afternoon.